everybody and welcome back. My name is Curseof and welcome back to another video. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to bring you guys a discussion going over why the ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels is unironically really bad. So for those of you who are unaware, our very first Speed Duel ban list was effective on September 10th of 2022. This went into effect right before YCS Niagara happened and essentially started the ban list trend for Speed Duels. This trend is every single time we get a new product, a few weeks or months later, we seem to get a new limited list. I should be saying limited list because technically nothing is banned, which is incorrect. Although the entire community was extremely excited to see the very first Speed Duel limited list come out, especially because this meant Speed Duels was getting some love, it is undeniable that the list was extremely flawed right from the get-go. We had cards like Foolish Burial and Reinforcement of the Army on the list. We had Cocoon and Parasite both put to the same section, creating more bulk, and we had all of the staples in Breaker, Warrior Lady, Book of Moon, and Cosmic, as well as Metaverse on the first list. I'll go ahead and show you guys what the original list looked like on the screen here, and I'll leave a doc down below that has access to all the historic Speed Duel limited lists. But essentially, right at the gate, we had a lot of issues with the list, but the fact that we had a list at all was way more important than the issues that we had with it. So we went forward and we just took this list and ran with it. And honestly, it created a pretty good format. But every single time we've gotten a new list since then, we've basically just made the list worse. Going into our second effective list here on January 21st, 2023, we had Metaverse come off, which was very, very big, but we added Cyber Dragon and Crystal Raigeki to the 3F section, as well as Floodgate Trap Hole. Floodgate Trap Hole is good, obviously, but the other two, not so much. Nightmare Wheel moving to the 1F section is great, and Foolish Burial moving to the 2F section is fine because it's in the right direction, which should be unlimited. But once again, a lot of issues, especially in the 3F section. And then moving into our newest limited list here, we have even more issues. First off, nothing came off the list. That's already a huge red flag. Second off, we had offerings put to 1. Why? It literally skips your next draw phase and is spot removal. That's not a broken card. It should not be at 1 in any regard, but it is. We added Shell to the 2F section, as if Shell was the issue. We added Twisted Personality to a different section on the list than Ladybug. We incorrectly hit Cyber Angels, and we added Wall of Disruption as another staple to the 3F section. This is all wrong. Genuinely, unironically, over half of these cards, or exactly half, I should say, of these cards need to be taken off the list right now. So let's get into our changes. So first things first, here's the list, here's the edits. Cyber Dragon comes off, Parasite Paranoid comes off, Volcanic Shell comes off, Cyber Angel Ben 10 comes off, Allure of Darkness comes off, Book of Moon comes off, Foolish Burial comes off, Offerings to the Doomed, Reinforcement of the Army, Union Hanger, Crystal Raigeki, and Wall of Disruption. These are all cards that can come off. That is 12 cards, and there is only 24 cards on the list. That is exactly half of the list that can be taken off right now and just make the format better. To go ahead and talk about it here, Cyber Dragon never needed to be hit in the first place. Volcanic Shell never needed to be hit in the first place. Cyber Angel Ben 10 is an incorrect hit for CAs. This isn't advanced format, this is Speed Duel format. Allure of Darkness never needed to be hit. Book of Moon never needed to be hit. It's a staple, but it's a very fair card. Foolish Burial never needed to be hit. This is Speed Duels, not advanced. Offerings, I just spoke about this. It's fine. Same thing with Rhoda. They killed unions when they murked the skill. They did not need to touch Hanger, and even out from the gate, when unions were an issue, Hanger was not the correct hit, it was Scramble. Crystal Raigeki should have never been on the list, and while a disruption is just another staple and actually encourages fun strategic gameplay because you can play around the card, but it is still very strong. All these cards can come off. It is genuinely insane. But more than cards coming off the list, we need to introduce a forbidden section to speed duels. I understand we want to keep things with the limited 1, 2, and 3. That's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Always starts. But it can't stay like that forever. There are problematic cards, and there always will be. There's going to be unfair cards in every single format, and if you don't have rotation, they need to be dealt with in another way. This way is just banning them. So let's go ahead and talk about what needs to be added to the forbidden section. So here's what the list currently looks like with everything taken off. Here's some more changes. Hold up. Before we go any further with today's topic, I want to take a moment to tell you guys about Dollar Flight Club. Dollar Flight Club is a subscription travel service whose goal is to help save you money on your flights. They offer both free and premium sign-up options and have an average savings of $500+ for their premium members. Sign up is super simple. Just click the affiliate link down in my description and start saving on your vacation or YCS flights today. As a disclaimer, any free or paid signups do help support me financially as well. Anyways, back to the video. First forbidden card is Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. This skill card is currently, at the time of recording this, in the limited 2 section alongside Parasite Paranoid. Is this technically okay? Sure, but tributing your opponent's monster and getting a free summon and then getting a shuffle back later is still overall a very unfair interaction. Skills should not be interacting with your opponent, they should be making your deck more consistent. Although technically putting these at 2 lowers the consistency, like I said, it is still an issue. And putting both these at 2 or putting them both at 1 is just adding more bulk to the list. So how do we just fix this? Ban one of them. Parasite Paranoid is overall a much more interesting card than Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. So let's ban Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. Like I said, this could be flip-flopped with Parasite Paranoid, but I'm choosing to ban Cocoon. So our first ban here is Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. Second and third is 2 more skills, and the only other skills on the list, that is I'm Just Going to Attack and Twisted Personality. I'm Just Going to Attack, maybe not the most unfair skill ever printed, but definitely a very strong one for our format, being able to once per turn just negate a battle trap. And the fact that it is just so generic and played in every single deck isn't how this format should be played. We should have archetype specific skill cards and be playing different skills for every deck, preferably. Having a generic skill like I'm Just Going to Attack is unhealthy and doesn't promote creativity. So let's just go ahead and let's get rid of it. It's already been identified as an issue by Konami. Let's make it forbidden. And Twisted Personality is broken. It's another one of those Matt era skills like Cocoon still is, and like Inner Conflict was, that are just absolutely absurd, especially when we're not printing strong enough stuff in the GX and onward era of speed duels. Twisted Personality needs to go. Was unfair with Volcanics, is unfair, I should say, with Vampires. Let's get rid of it. Zoma the Spirit also needs to be moved to forbidden. Is it okay at 1? Sure, you can deal with it, but does it still steal games and win games that have no right being won? It does. Is Zoma better at 1? Sure. Is it still a very unhealthy card? Yes. Zoma needs to go. So at this time, our limited 1 section should now look like Jinzo and Nightmare Wheel. Let's go ahead and make some changes to the limited 1 section here now. Floodgate Trap Hole to 1, Golden Ladybug to 1. It's essentially shadow bans Golden Ladybug, puts Floodgate to 1 and makes them choose between, Golden Ladybug, Jinzo, Floodgate, or Nightmare Wheel, and helps stop and slow down any of the burn decks that are now thinking, oh, well, I have access to Nightmare Wheel now in the 1-of section. Well, you got to choose. Do you want Nightmare Wheel or do you want Floodgate Trap Hole? And if you take one of those, well, you can't have Ladybug to help play a stall game. So this takes care of a lot of those problematic cards Very, very good. Our limited 3 section currently has Breaker, Warrior Lady, Cosmic, and MAR, Machine Angel Ritual. We're going to take Machine Angel Ritual. We're going to move it up to the limit 2 section, which is currently completely empty. This is what the list would look like if it wasn't for the fact that I want to add 2 new cards to the Forbidden and Limited list. This is Waking the Dragon in the Forbidden section and Cyber Angel Edatin in the limited 2 section. Waking the Dragon is a stupid card. It is skillless. It rewards people for getting their back row removed, and sure, you can make reads on Waking. You know, if you see a card sitting there for a long time, then you can be like, oh, well, that's probably a Waking. I'll never hit that. But there's always the chance that your opponent just, you know, top decks a Waking in a losing situation, sets it face down, passes their turn, and you have back row removal in your hand. And as you know, a good player, you think, okay, if I'm gonna swing in or go for lethal this turn, I should clear their back row, right? They could have, you know, Wall of Disruption in this format. They could have Widespread Ruin. They could possibly deal with my win con. Let's hit it. And then you hit a Waking and proceed to lose the game. Waking's an unfair card, should not be legal, especially in speed duels. It can come back later when, you know, summoning an extra deck monster is like whatever. Waking needs to go. And the second thing is Cyber Angel Edatin being added to the limited 2 section alongside Machine Angel Ritual. This is speed duels, like I said before, not advanced format. The correct hit is not Ben 10 for us, but it is Edatin. Edatin is your ritual spell searcher. Edatin buffs your Izana, makes it huge, or can make any of your Cyber Angel monsters absolutely huge. And putting these both at the limit 2 section means either you play a deck with no Edatin, or you play a deck with 1 Eda, 1 Machine Angel Ritual, which is way weaker than what we currently have for Cyber Angels. This is the correct way to hit CAs to make them not a unfair OTK deck. This is what we should see from Konami if they want to create a good Forbidden and Limited list for speed duels. So hopefully you guys could keep up with my rambling on there, but if you couldn't, here is what the new list looks like. In the Forbidden section, we have Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. I'm just going to attack Zoma the Spirit and Waking the Dragon. In the limited 1 section, we have Golden Ladybug, Jinzo, Floodgate Trap Hole, and Nightmare Wheel. In the limited 2 section, we have Cyber Angel Edatin and Machine Angel Ritual. And in the limited 3 section, we have Breaker, the Magical Warrior, DD Warrior Lady, and Cosmic Cyclone. Overall, this is the removal of a net 10 cards off the list because we took off 12 and added 2 additional ones on. This is 10 cards off the list. This makes the list way less bulky. The 3F section makes you feel like you have a tough choice, but isn't just every single staple in the format. The limited 2 section is just dealing with a deck, and the limited 1 section actually feels healthy. Most people are going to pick Jinzo, and the ones that aren't are playing a deck that we don't want to see, so we're essentially taking away 3 of their cards. I genuinely, wholeheartedly feel if we could see this list come out somehow after Streets of Battle City, we could possibly have a very, very interesting, very, very fun speed duel format. But only time will tell. Maybe Konami will watch this video and listen to me. That's the dream. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment? Do you agree with my take on this list? Is there anything you would want to see added to the list that I didn't mention, or anything else that you think should take off? Or maybe there's something that I moved that you think is a really bad move. Go ahead and leave your opinion down in the comments below, and also subscribe and hit that like button. Anyway, that's a wrap, guys, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Peace.